Hello there. Hello there. If you like what I have to say, then you might like this about an experience I had last night. Uh, I, for me, understanding this experience had its roots in 1976, 7, and 8 in taking philosophy classes in what is known, I call the Tampa years in my life. And So, in terms of understanding this experience, there's this. It's a study in the nature of being, with a capital B in philosophy. It's known as ontology, and then you have phenomenological experiences, like the phenomenology of ontology, or the nature of the phenomena of being. You know, is this metaphysical then? Well, yeah, you enter that realm of it being like a warp drive metaphysical experience that happened to me yesterday. Did I do anything to induce it? No. My day started when the phone rang, and I saw it was a good friend, and I figured was in town, and he was, and I got up, and I had not quite enough abnormally long amount of sleep like I do, but I got up and so we visited for a while, and then I had breakfast, took my evening pills, and went back to bed, and I was drawn back to bed. I couldn't stay out of bed. I wanted to work on the second book I'm writing now, and but I was just like so bad, feeling like I just needed to go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep, and then this is where you ran into the realm of the meditative state. You know, when you're in your sleep, and like I was, we recount this experience to you. Uh, I was aware that I was asleep. I was in fact asleep, in bed asleep. I was safe and sound, everything fine. I was alone, and I was aware that I was asleep. At the same time, I was aware of what I call this. The last time this happened was about 10 years ago, from my recollection of it. A meditative state like this, but that I called then and again plasma consciousness, where my consciousness inside, like at the core of my being, in the ontological sense, uh, the core of my being, there's like a cloud of golden, dense light, and this is in front of me, or I'm looking at it or something, and I'm part of it, or I'm entering that realm or something within my very core of my being, which I can recall as I was waking up a few different times, started to wake up from that deeper core, remembering it and saying, I need to remember this when I wake up. A few different times before I finally woke up, and later remembered it once I was awake. But so I remember at the time I was like talking to God, man. I mean, in this light realm of light, that I was entering or standing beside or upon or whatever, or come upon within myself. And I didn't hear God talk back to me, so there was no schizophrenic experience going on there. I didn't know there was no voices, just your own voice as you think or talk. It is what it appeared as. I was just in a different form of being at the time. There was a certain phenomenology of the light, presence of light, and the golden, vivid, cloud-like quality of it. And this is while I was asleep in bed. Did I take anything to do to cause this? No. It was just how I ended up. Uh, had happened about 10 years earlier, the last time like this, and it has its roots grounded in my 1970s study of philosophy, and then the 1980s continued extracurricular study of philosophy, like in the teachings of Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, uh, guru from India who was in Oregon, I believe it was in the 80s, and he died suddenly of a heart attack. Uh, but his writings, I studied his books. They recorded him talking and then typed it all up in books and sold it as books. And I had a lot of them. I have a lot of them. I did anyway. But they were interesting meditative doors of perception into a deeper reality beyond what the five senses can see. Would this be a sixth sense? I wouldn't call it that. A sixth sense more implies more like clairvoyance. So there's nothing like that. This was just like an inner labyrinth or gallery of light shining within the core of my being. So what does this teach me as a philosopher? It teaches me in a glimpse of in like this that there is a deeper reality, much deeper than we ordinarily see or can sense with our eyes or ears or anything. You know what I mean? So I just want to make a note of that. There's a deeper reality, perhaps, as a philosopher talking from back in the golden years, 1970s. Uh, so what that means to you, I hope you have fun with that thought. But have a nice day, night, morning, noon, wherever you're at in your day. Likewise, I'm sure. Bye bye.